Okay, today we are going to learn about Google Forms. I'm going to show you a couple ways you can use Google Forms. The first way that I started out the year was I had my students take a survey and interest inventory at the beginning of the year so I could get to know them. So they answered a lot of basic questions. I inputted each section. So this was student information where they had to give me their parents' names and cell phone numbers and email addresses. The second section was about what their favorites were. And all of these can be added in here. Like this is your new section. You could add a video, you could add an image, you could add a title or a description. You can add a question, and then you can also change your type of question um, if you wanted to. So, like a lot of these questions are just short answer, but you could go in and you could change it to multiple choice, Dropbox, all of these different things, which is great. So I gave this to my students at the beginning of the year. I wanted to know their reading level and what they did with reading. And then I wanted to know about social studies. Would they rank it at the top of their list with their core content? Um, and then what aspects of what topics they liked in social studies. The last part was extracurricular activities. I wanted to know what my students were doing after school and at home. Did they have internet? Because we are operating on Google Classroom. So that is one way. And I use this on an occasional basis if I need to get a hold of a parent and the school's information is not updated. I go to my responses and I find my student and I go down and I find their parent's name, I find their parent's number. And again, it's really, and then I can do it individually as well. And that really helps. Another way I've used Google Forms is to create an assessment. And this is the quiz that they took the other day, which was really good because we embedded the interventions within it. So if they answered one of these questions wrong, then it immediately took them to their intervention. One of the things that I have learned about embedding the intervention is that when the student gets to like actually take the assessment, they have an opportunity, and this is loading for a second, but it gives them a chance to actually go back and answer the question based on their answer. So if I put this in, I go next. Don't know why it's not working. Okay, so when they get to the point where they get to answer the question and say they answer it wrong, so I'm going to answer it wrong and I'm going to hit next. It's going to lead me to the intervention because I got it wrong. What I don't like sometimes, I'm kind of conflicted about it, that they have a chance to actually go back to the question and retake it. And there's no way to limit how many times they can go back to. So if they get it wrong again, they go to the intervention and they can still keep on going back to the question. So they can technically just guess 4 times until they get it right. I don't really like that. So I'm hoping that Google develops something to kind of change that. So that is the assessment. The other thing that while I was creating the assessment, it came to me where you can just create a study guide. So we created the actual assessment, and then we went in and we took out all the questions and just left the interventions. So we have like what they would get if they had missed the questions anyways. So we have our little tutorials, our little videos, our analyze information. We have some slides where we've inputted. And basically, the students, basically this is very specific to the questions. Analyze the maps, watch the videos, analyze the maps, get the main topics, analyze maps, and it's just really very concentrated intervention. We like that as well. The other one that I like using this for is that you could use is just a basic survey for kids. So my kids did a fundraiser and they actually won. We raised money and for our team, and they won a party. So we wanted to give them a choice of what they wanted for food for the party. So I told them I would create a survey. So party food survey. And the question that I'm going to ask them is, where do you want the pizza from? So I'm going to give them options. So I really want to make this a checkbox. So their option one is, of course, Papa John's. Sorry, Papa John's. The next one is Domino's. The little next one is, gotta throw in the hometown. That's my favorite, hometown pizza. And then like when we go, so that's required because I need to know that. And then we add this other question in there, and I need to know what kind of pizza do you want? Okay, so and again, I'm gonna give some options because I don't want it to be like bacon cheeseburger with onions. I mean, let's get the basics. So we've got our pepperoni, our sausage, our cheese, and our veggie. Okay, so then they can take that and then I can easily get that information. I know you can use SurveyMonkey for easy things like this, but Google Forms is just as easy. One of the things that I do love about this is definitely the embedded intervention, definitely makes that easy. Actually, the first quiz I gave my students at the beginning of the year, I forgot to put a slot for their name. I did not realize this until later when the kids were like, well, what'd I get? And I went back and I looked at the thing and it was just like, it was all of their scores. When you go into responses, though, you could ask, you can have their emails collected. So I liked that. So I really didn't have to put a name slot in there for them. Instead, I could have just marked up in your settings, you can mark collect emails. So if I collect emails, it'll automatically do that. I love that it really allows you to set up quizzes really easy. All you have to do is click this little thing, make it a quiz, make it not a quiz. And gives you all these options down here, whether to show them the correct answers or whether to not show. I think it's better not to show the correct answers, let them do the intervention, and then come back. It's really easy for grading. Even if you do, say you have a checked box question and you need to, so like I believe my 10th or 11th question was a checked box question. Yeah. So you could go in and if the kids answered all 4 of the correct ones, they got it right. But if they accidentally answered all 4 of them or all 5 of them, you could go in and change the grade according to that answer. So technically they did get all the 4 ones correct. but they added one extra. I still gave them the credit because they knew which ones were right. But like say this one right here, they only got 2 of the answers, so I could go back in and change it to you got half of the credit, and it automatically changes those quiz grades automatically. That's really nice. One of the things that I do not like about this is we had created a PLC minutes form for our teachers to fill out, and it just it wasn't the greatest thing because if you give everybody rights to it, then people can change it. And um, unlike Microsoft, you can't protect anything. So it was really hard to give everybody access, and teachers love changing things to where they like it. But so on this PLC minute thing, if everybody has access to this, then they can change whether or not this question is required. So my principal didn't like that, so we set it up to where only she could have access to it. But unfortunately, not everybody, once you take this as a, like if it was sent to you by email and a link, you took it, you couldn't really access that information anymore unless you had the rights to it. And that was, they didn't want to give everybody rights to it because they didn't want anybody to change it. So I wish that Google would hurry up and figure out a way to like safeguard, lock it, so that you can create something, share it with everybody, and have that template saved. The other thing I noticed is on the Google forums is depending on what device the students are using, sometimes it can be hard for them to take a Google form outside of your building just because of access. If it's created on a JCPS website or through an account and you don't have rights to a JCPS, you can't take it. Is a lot about Google Docs. I love it. Absolutely love it. I use it on a daily basis. My kids are getting ready to take this one tomorrow, so they've been using this study guide all week and studying for their big unit test on India and China ancient civilizations. So we like it. Hope you guys learned a lot, and see you later.